Every year at Congregation, UBC has the honor of bestowing honorary degrees upon individuals who, in the opinion of the university community, have fit the criteria of excellence and eminence in their chosen field. The Right Honourable C. Joseph Clark is one of those individuals, and I invite him now to step forward to receive his honorary degree. Throughout his storied career as a public servant, the Right Honourable Joe Clark has been tirelessly committed to a Canada that is progressive and globally influential, reflecting the values of integrity, unity, and civility. Young Joe, as he was first known to many of us, became Canada's 16th Prime Minister the day before his 40th birthday, and the youngest person ever to hold our highest office. Mr. Clark was elected to the House of Commons 8 times over 35 years. As Leader of the Opposition, Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs, Acting Minister of both National Defence and Justice, and Minister of Constitutional Affairs, he has served in some of the most challenging positions in government. Born in the cowboy country of High River, Alberta, Joe Clark has remained true to his progressive conservative roots, which combine socially progressive values and a focus on sound fiscal responsibility and innovation. Thanks to his efforts, Canada was the first Western nation to respond to Ethiopia's 1984 famine, and the first G7 country to introduce sanctions against South Africa's brutal apartheid regime. Clark also made immense contributions on constitutional issues. Since retiring from politics, he's received many honors, including the Order of Canada and the Alberta Order of Excellence. He's served as a special representative of the United Nations Secretary General, monitored elections around the world, and shared his vast experience in foreign affairs through positions at prestigious universities and institutes in Canada and the United States. Madam Chancellor, for his dedication to the people of Canada and the world and commitment to global citizenship and civil society, I ask you to grant the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, upon the Right Honourable Charles Joseph Clark. Do you want to do this or do you want me to do it? I'll do it. On behalf of the Chancellor, by the authority of the Senate of this university, she confers upon Charles Joseph Clark the title and degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. It now gives me great pleasure to ask Dr. Clark to say a few words. Thank you.
Madam Chancellor, Mr. President, graduates who earned your degrees directly, ladies and gentlemen, I am truly honored to receive this degree from this forward-reaching university in this country of the future. I have 5 minutes, and I want to propose 2 changes in the way we see our world. A change in our view, first, of leadership, and second, of what assets are most important. Leadership is often described as singular, a gifted individual stepping forward, an artist, a thinker, a scientist, a statesman, an innovator. But that view of leadership also assumes fellowship, people who would go along, whether they are citizens or shareholders or members of a European Union. That doesn't fit the world today. There is broader education than before. There is more equality than before. And of course, more information, which can mobilize and inspire change, as it did in the Arab Spring. Among nations, political power has shifted, but so has there been a shift in the power between nation-states and non-state actors. Greenpeace has more influence on public policy than many national governments. The Gates Foundation is more innovative. Red Cross, Red Crescent employs more people internationally than most multinational corporations. When Libyans sought to overthrow the Gaddafi regime, there was a question whether foreign military intervention might be led by France and Britain rather than by the USA. A White House advisor supported that very reasonable proposition, but he was careless enough to describe it as leading from behind. Now, American pride was wounded, and the description was quickly disowned. But the reality is that as power disperses in the world, so does the capacity to lead. And in almost every case, the most effective leadership will have to be shared. So the model now should be leading from beside. And to speak of assets, one quality that will be ever more important is the instinct to respect differences and to turn them into strengths, not conflicts. Let me put that in the context of Canada. Some call us an energy superpower, and certainly our natural resources, all of them, are a significant asset. But our physical resources and our land, those are what we are. The population is who we are. And who we are is always changing and becoming more resilient as we meld and respect the catalytic talents of the world in one country. At our best, Canadians have led from beside for a long time. That was the tradition of our First Nations before settlers came. It is central to the credit unions and cooperatives and caisses populaires and crown corporations which shaped the country. It is why we are a federation, and it inspires our signature respect for cultural diversity. There is, as you would know, a bad-tempered debate in Europe about what the Chancellor of Germany and the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom call multiculturalism. Ladies and gentlemen, that's their debate. It's not Canada's, because our histories are profoundly different. Older societies send people out. Canada has always drawn people in and valued the distinctive strengths they brought. Think of this. Nearly a century ago, in the far ago year of 1913, this young nation, only 7 million people then, welcomed more than 400,000 immigrants, increasing our population by nearly 5% in a single year. The test was whether that spirit would change as the source of immigration changed. In our first century, while we came from different countries, overwhelmingly, our religion was Christian and our skin color was white. In effect, we were Europe on a new continent, but we were not yet the world. In the 1970s and 80s, that began to change. And by 2009, more than 56% of our immigrants came from Asia. The term visible minority emphasizes the color change of Canada's new immigrants. But the significant change is not color and not country of origin. It is culture. It is how we think, how we see the world, what faiths and philosophies and experiences shape our views and beliefs. That broadening of source cultures makes us more like the world. Yet, we are one country, a successful country, not just an economy, but a broad and creative community. It is not the diversity which distinguishes us. It is the respect we have learned to lead from beside. And that is your legacy, your asset in this world so challenged by conflict and suspicion. Now, my minutes are nearly up. Yours are just beginning, and they could not begin in a better place or a more exciting time. Thank you for the privilege of being part of your graduating class. Congratulations and the very best of luck.